it does smack of intelligent design. But I really hesitate to go there because intelligent design is, really, I don't believe it. I don't believe that there is somebody outside the system orchestrating it. I can, like I say, I think I think that intelligence permeates the universe, but if there is a God, it's not separate from the universe. It is the universe, becoming conscious, evolving toward consciousness, And so in that sense, it's interesting that, this is a wild speculation, but just to throw it out there, Terence, half tongue-in-cheek, wrote the foreword to the Psilocybin Mushroom Growers Guide, saying, the mushroom's intelligence, and it has it has information about how to build technologies and things like that. But if you really think about the whole SETI thing and the communication with extraterrestrial intelligence and all the efforts to detect radio signals, from an advanced civilization. The premises that surround that idea are so naive, it's almost embarrassing. The notion that an extremely advanced technological civilization would even bother with radio, is just silly. No, it ain't gonna come that way. Or it may come that way, but there's lots of ways that it may come. And I've actually read speculations where people have said, well, you could build a message into DNA which would not be detected until the civilization had reached the point where they could do molecular biology, they could sequence these things, and they could see, that there's actually a meaningful sequence of information there. Well, how about make DMT?
Well, just turn the N-methyltransferase on.
Yeah, turn the N-methyltransferase on and make a compound that when you take it shows you machines and starships and aliens and weird cities and all this stuff. What could be less ambiguous? There's no mystery. That is the message. And it's interesting that tryptophan, which is, again, in everything, right, one of these essential amino acids, but the genetic code, and I don't know what you want to infer from this, what I'm getting to, or if anything, but the genetic code is what they call a degenerate code, right? Meaning there are the DNA codes for 64 triplets that code for amino acids, but there are only 20 amino acids, right? So for every amino acid, there's generally more than one codon, so it's a redundant thing. Sometimes the different codons will code ultimately in transcription and protein synthesis for the same amino acids. The one exception to this is tryptophan. There's only one codon that codes for tryptophan out of all 64. So what does that mean? Probably nothing. But you could speculate and say, well, it's an artifact. It was put there. It was built into the way this whole thing works. And again, it's sort of like the fact that DMT is, the fact that DMT permeates nature so much is kind of like a cosmic joke in a way. It's nature playing with us. It's nature saying, get it? Do you get it? The fact that 2 steps away from tryptophan, there is a molecule that opens transcendent dimensions. Aren't we clever? That and maybe the fact that tryptophan is only coded by one codon, maybe that's a sign that at some point, the whole thing was designed or genetically engineered in some way. And I don't postulate, I mean, alien super biotechnologists or whatever, but they could have done it. And and I'm not saying they did or that I believe this, I'm just saying as a fun thing to speculate, it's interesting that it's not that far-fetched, I mean, if they have these technologies and they, their time frame is millions of years, billions of years, who knows what they could have done, back a long time ago to engineer a situation that they could, figure would evolve to this. I don't know. I mean, that's what's fascinating about DMT. Nobody knows, so we're free to speculate.